It's a bull. Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals. Got the Deerfield Beach live cam up and lots of activity out there. Nice blue, clear water too. It's really nice for the bait fish out there. They can spot all the predators, and there's a bunch of them out there. Saw a bunch of snooks and crevalle jacks, which we call canal tunas down here. Oh, well, anyways, enough of the fish stuff. Let's move into spot prices here. Take a look and see what's going on. I'm going to do a quick refresh here. I haven't refreshed this in a few moments. Just kind of see where we're at. Downwards a little bit here, and let's take a look at overnight markets. 1784.66 to 1798.61 being the high overnight. So we're still in that little sub $1,800 level. Silver seems to be holding on to this 24 for now at the moment. 23.88 overnight, and 24.27 being the high. And we're just over that 24 mark. It's funny, both gold and silver were in the green a little bit this morning, and I looked, and platinum was in the red quite a bit actually. I think it was 10.17 when I last looked. Looks like the low at 10.13 and the high at 10.33. And lo and behold, platinum's in the red, palladium was in the red, I believe, as well. And look what we got here. So kind of funny how that's platinum seems to be moving ahead of the other metals a little bit. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. It's a strange pattern. I don't know if it's meaningful in any way sense or in any way at all. Let's take a look at the 24-hour chart and kind of see when this activity's occurred. It's exactly what I've been saying for like weeks now. You could almost count on for the longest time that markets were pretty much monkey hammered, primarily on Fridays, slow during holidays, on Sunday nights. But lately, a lot of the monkey hammering and the action in the upside as well has been in the New York market. I mean, take a look at it. Look at, let's see, this would have been Monday. It's hump day today, Wednesday. So Monday, not really much action on Monday. Well, hold on, not really. You had a nice little up there at that point, and then the rest of the day was just kind of like flat and maybe even on the downward trend somewhat. Take a look at yesterday, which would have been Tuesday. Sorry about that. Take a look exactly when it occurs. Opening of New York, right about New York time. Boom, there you go. That's when we saw our monkey hammering yesterday. Hence my term implodes on the New York Open. And that wasn't clickbait. It's exactly what happened. It kind of imploded on the New York Open. Now this is the spot gold price, and look at this morning again. Same freaking time frame, right in New York. About a little bit later actually. If you take a look when this started happening, it looks like the market. What time is it? About 10:15. A little bit later than normal, but take a look at this action right here. Again, same time in between the opening of New York, 8:20 and noon time, and typically between 8 and 11 is when we've been seeing most of the action, both in gold and silver. Let's take a look at silver. You're going to just see a very similar chart. Also, I'm going to talk about premiums. What's the best price to pay out there for products? What best deals I've got here in my store, and what the best deals you should be looking for at your local coin stores yourself. And before I do that, let's just finish off this chart. Exact same thing. Take a look at this. Silver even getting monkey hammered more, and exactly where? In New York. Take a look at this market. 8 o'clock. Market opens about 8:20 in New York. And there you go, down to the high 23s. It looks like 23.88 was the low. And it looks like it's leveled out for right now. So, but again, odd time. It's just a little pattern that I've noticed for, I don't know how long it's been going on. It was about a month now, or 2-3 weeks. Hard to tell. Time just kind of goes. Anyways, for me, it's hard to tell if it started 2 weeks ago or a month ago, but I've noticed this trend for a little while. It's happening in the mornings during New York markets, and then the rest of the day kind of calms out, both in gold and silver. Let's take a look at what the best deals out there, and then I'll go into a little bit of news stuff here. Best deals in gold. Premiums right now. Let's talk about gold first, and then we'll go on to silver. Let me see what the best deals are, and I'm going to blow up this page a little bit because I can point to items here and tell you what I think the best deals are. Well, let's kind of go to the first page that we're looking at here, and I'll look at this one right here. Mexican 50 pesos is the first one in mind. We had a couple of them here. Premiums are really high. They're really not anywhere to be found out there. I think one of the big online sellers, last time I seen they had any for sale, they were about $170 over the melt price. You know, and they're 1.2057 ounces of gold, so it would have been about 170 bucks over that price. A little on the high side. I don't know why people would want to pay that for them. And again, not any out there. I think we got one left here, and I'd sell it cheaper than what you could find it on APMEX, JM, or SD for, and I don't even think they have them. KRs, what's the deal on KRs right now? And best deal, KRs for me are delayed delivery here. We've got them coming in, but they are somewhat delayed. But they are available apparently, and you can lock them in. And what are they going to run? They're going to. You should be paying no more than spot plus $90 for KRs right now. Again, we have them available here. So if you're just buying one or a couple of them, no more than spot plus 90 on those. What else is in here I want to talk about? I don't see a maple leaf directly there, but there's a maple leaf here somewhere on this page, I'm sure. And that's where I'm going to go next. Maple leaves. Wow. You'd think maple leafs were rare on DuckDuckGo. I don't see any. My gosh, all right, did I just pass right by a maple leaf? There's got to be one here somewhere on that page. Is there a maple leaf even here? That might be a maple leaf up there, but obviously you all know what a maple leaf looks like. It has a big maple leaf and the queen on one side, although there's queen on a lot, the queen's on a lot of coins. So let's look at maple prices. Exact same as the gold price. I mean, not gold price, the Krugerrand. You should be paying no more than spot plus 90 bucks for maple leafs. What else we got here? Gold bars seem to be the best deal overall. I'm going to say the packaged gold bars, Valcombis, not particularly these poured. That's old school stuff. You really don't see those too much out there anymore. Let me type in Valcombi gold bar. I like their product, and there's a bunch of, you got Perth mint, and you've got the Swiss mint on the gold bars, but let's just kind of take a look at the Valcombi gold bar. There you go, these type of gold bars right here in the plastic holders. You don't even have to give them the plastic holders, but that is the best bet out there, and let me tell you what those are going to run you. Those are going to be spot plus 80 bucks or less, and again, that's about 10 bucks cheaper than maple leafs or KRs, and it's a good product. As long as you're buying it from known sources and local coin stores that know what they're doing, you're okay. And even online, you better be buying from people that know what they're looking at. What other good products are out there? I'm going to go back a page here and just take a look. Let's see here. What other things are on here? $20 gold piece. Is that $20 or is that Eagles? I can't tell. That's Eagles right there. Eagles, they come down quite a bit. They were as high as spot plus 200 bucks. Now they're like spot plus 122 bucks, right in the 120 to 125 range. You really shouldn't be paying more than 120, 125 dollars over spot for Eagles. And I don't really see a great advantage in buying gold Eagles either. When you can buy Krugerrands or maple leafs for what is it going to be, about 32 bucks an ounce cheaper. For every Krugerrand or maple leaf you can buy a maple and a Krugerrand with an ounce of silver for about the same price you could pay for an Eagle. So I think that's a better deal, to get a maple leaf or a Krugerrand or even a gold bar and buy yourself an ounce of silver, and you'd still be coming out better than if you bought a gold Eagle. That's, again, just my opinion. Beautiful product. I love saying buy American, but they're just priced out of the market a little bit. There's better deals out there in my opinion. And as far as like kangaroos and those kind of things, they're a little bit tough to find out there. I'm not sure the Perth Mint is making them. Occasionally I'll see them pop up on the big threes, APMEX, JM, and SD, and we advertise to beat APMEX, JM, and SD bullion because, we're a smaller entity. We don't have the expenses they have, and we can still get the product at just as good a prices as they can. And the other thing, I'm selling myself here, folks. I can also we can give personal advice here. Personal experienced advice to each individual that comes in our store. That's the nice thing about having a local coin store. And when I start to recognize a face, the pleasant face, and people that are customers of mine, I'm very loyal to them. Something you'll never get from big online resellers who don't know your name from Shinola. So let's move along here to silver. There's some good silver. Well, fractionals. I'm going to talk about fractional gold because you see there's some 1/10 out here. Fractionals are still, Eagles are probably in that $230 to $240 range. That's $2,300 gold, $2,400 gold. I just don't think it's worth it. Even the other fractionals like KRs and things are still bringing like 2,000 bucks an ounce. which tells me that there's still a shortage of 10th ounce quarters and halves out there, because the premiums are still quite high on that stuff, whether it's Eagles or Maples or any of it. So what's probably happening though is they're all behind when it comes to they're behind in the manufacturing of 1 ounce pieces, so they're certainly not going to gear up and start making tenths and quarters. They're primarily just trying to play catch up. I think a lot of the mints are just trying to play catch up simply just with the 1 ounce pieces. That's why you're not seeing, that's why you're not seeing a lot of fractional gold out there. And the fractional gold that you are seeing is very high premiums right now. I just can't advise spending $2,000 an ounce for 10th ounces. There are some better deals out there. If you don't mind going back to the old school stuff, there's stuff like, I'm going to type this in, French 20 francs, all right? They're 0.1867 ounces each. There's roosters, there's that allegorical head, whatever it is, there's the angels right there. And these, again, may run you spot plus, they may run you the melt price plus about 30 bucks over, which is still a hell of a lot cheaper than, well, let's see, 1.862225. It's still cheaper than buying gold Eagles and gold 1/10 fractionals, maple fractionals and that thing. What's the other good deal out there that you can probably pick up is British sovereigns. And let me see, I'm sure I'm going to spell that wrong, but I'm supposed to put it on IRG. Oh, there we go. Yeah, EIGN. Okay, these are 0.2354 ounces each, or almost a quarter. This was the old school stuff that, I did switch to DuckDuckGo. How do I get rid of that screen? Give me 1 second here. Oh, there we go. This is the old school stuff. Before there were fractional quarter ounces and 10th ounces and that kind of thing, this is the stuff that people would buy instead of buying a $20 gold piece or a Mexican 50 peso. Again, this is pre-Krugerrands. Well, I won't say pre-Krugerrands. Krugerrands been around since 1968. But they were the competitive side of, this is what you bought. And these are 0.2354 ounces each. And I think you should be able to pick these up for the melt price plus $30 or $40. Again, been around forever, made by the British Mint. And there's all different types too. They're pretty cool coins. And again, a good deal, represents a good deal. Probably a hell of a lot cheaper than buying. Let's take a look at what quarter ounce maples are running. Yeah, quarter ounce maples are going to run you, Eagles, I'm sorry, if you can find maples, are a little bit cheaper, but Eagles are going to run you like melt plus, what, 12% or something like that? That's really high, man. Tenths are like 16% over melt. And quarter ounce Eagles or half ounce Eagles are probably, well, more reasonable, but still pretty high at 9 and 10% over melt. That's if you can find them. A lot of the, I think they're right now, because they're in big demand and there's not a lot of them out there, that the premiums are just too high on those folks. If you can find yourself to doing it, take a look at some alternatives here, which are much better deals, like British sovereigns and French 20 franc pieces. You can even get German 20 marks, which are kind of an interesting coin. Not as popular, but they're out there, and I think you can get a good deal on them. What other products? 1 ducats, they're like 0.1107 each. Austrian 1 ducat, let me show you what that is. That would be a good competitive product, and let me see if they're even available. Oh yeah, you can get ducats for a good price out there, folks. Like melt plus 15 or 20 bucks or something, or less. That's not a bad deal. Austrian 1 ducats, and they're a little bit over 1/10 of an ounce. They're 0.1107, and gold. Let me just type in gold, and I'll show you what they look like. But again, you know, melt plus about 16, 20 bucks or something like that. It's kind of a pretty coin. Very thin and larger than a 1/10 ounce, but again, they've been around forever. Good solid product and way cheaper. For what it's worth, I'm just trying to show you guys some alternatives to buying really high premium fractional gold out there. Let's take a look at silver and see what we got going on. I'm going to hit the silver page. Right now, you know, I really like the deal on Britannias. We can get a good price on Britannias. You know, what's here? Let me take a look and see what our price is here in our store. And I don't know what your local coin store is charging, but you should really be paying spot plus 4 1/4 or less on silver Britannias, which is this product right here, which is not a bad deal considering that generics, and you see the generics right here, generic buffaloes, generic these right here, that the generic products are what 1 ounces right now. We have those available. Our spot plus 375. So for the folks out there, and again, I'd buy these. I'd buy generics before I bought the Britannias, but again, within 50 cents, the Britannias are. So I mean, that is not a bad deal compared to well, for Spot plus 4 1/4 compared to Silver Eagles, which are what, Spot plus $7 or Spot plus $8 now. You know, almost double the premium. So that's a good deal for Britannias. 1 ounce generics are a good deal out there right now. It's Spot plus $3.75. I've been told that there's an issue right now with some fake generic silvers going around out there. So definitely, if you're buying 1 ounce generic product, make sure you're buying it from people that know what they're looking at and know what the fake products look like, because there is some fake generics going out there. Buffalo's I heard of recent in South Florida, and they're probably going around the country as well. Probably Chinese-made silver-plated stuff that's fake silver-plated stuff. So what else here? Oh, geez, I must have scratched myself. Sorry about that. A little distracted. Let me take a look here and see what other products out there. 10 ounce bars are not a bad deal either. Those are running, we have those at Spot plus $3.50 or less. Again, depends on the quantity that you're buying. And 100 ounce bars I still think are the best deal out there at Spot plus $3.25. Premiums have gone up around 1/4 and 50 cents on a lot of product. Some product has delayed deliveries out there, but there's plenty of silver out there right now available, folks, and plenty of gold, at least for now there is. You know, the shit hasn't hit the fan yet. So when the shit hits the fan, that's when you're going to find that the online sellers have like out of stock, out of stock, out of stock. Oh, hey, by the way, I wanted to mention to you too, one thing I've noticed with the online sellers when they do that out of stock thing is they keep the lowest possible price. They still keep it up there. They may say out of stock, but they keep a stupid low price on there just in case their competitor has it in stock. And again, when I notice whenever that these online, not all of them, but some, you know, most of them, whenever the online, they run out of stock on a particular price product, they just keep the price really low. And I think they do that purposely, because sometimes people look to do price comparison and they'll say, oh, look, such and such has them for $29. And then, and then you're thinking like yourself, well, I can't buy them for that. And then you look at what they're pointing to and you say, hey, they're out of stock. You know, they always put the lowest price. You know, of course you're going to quote a stupid low price on something you don't have in stock. It just makes you look good. So whenever you're looking at the online sellers and you see that's out of stock and you see a really low price, that's just a marketing technique, folks. Again, that's my opinion. I think most of them do that. Let's move along to some other things. 90%, absolutely a horrible deal right now. You know, I was a big guy on 90 for a while. I was telling people to buy constitutional silver because first off in Florida, there's no sales tax on any U.S. coins, so they were exempt from sales tax. And on top of that, the premiums were just really cheap. I think it was Spot plus, like $2 or $2.50 or something like that. Now, I think they're getting like Spot plus $5 and $6 and $7, man. That's just crazy. It's as much as Silver Eagles. Again, definitely avoid US 90% overpriced at the moment as much as I like it. The reason I liked it was because of the price, and that's no longer the case anymore. It's not priced at any kind of reasonable level. Neither are Silver Eagles. What are the products out here? Or Philharmonics, if you can pick those up for the same price as a Britannia, you're doing pretty good. Spot plus 4 1/4, no more than that. 100 ounce bars, as I said, still the best deal out there. They've gone up 25 cents an ounce. They were like Spot plus, $3 now. They're Spot plus $3.25. So there's some good deals out there. There's one other thing I have noticed, that the wholesale spreads have gotten wider. Before they were much thinner, when there was a much bigger demand and we had a lot more people coming in. I mean, the demand comes and goes in precious metals for the last couple of years. I mean, it hasn't stopped, but sometimes it gets really heated, product kind of dries up, then it slows down a little bit, and product kind of is more available and the prices come down a little bit. Not by much. Again, it's been mostly, we're selling 5 times plus more than what we're buying over the counter. So, for every ounce of gold that we're buying over the counter, we're probably selling 5 or 10 times much. So not a lot is coming in from the public, and it's getting harder to source from other dealers. That's one of the things I've noticed. And, I went back to the fish page here. Let's go over to silver bars. And what else do I need to talk about? Oh, hey, the best deal out there, absolutely one of the best deals out there still, is constitutional. It's constitutional silver, but it's I'm going to type in 1986, Statue of Liberty dollar, just to kind of give you, it's the U.S. commemorative program that started in 1986, actually started in 1982, but where is the silver dollar? There it is right there. They made them in 87. You can pick these up in proof and BU condition. There's a BU right there, there's a proof. They have the exact same weight as a U.S. silver dollar, 0.77 ounces, no sales tax. They're beautiful coins, and you can pick them up for melt plus $3. That's awesome, folks. Think about that. That's a great deal. I'm surprised that I'm almost sold out of them, but I still have a bunch of these left. And I wanted to mention that to you. Your local coin store probably has, I'm going to type in silver commemoratives here. U.S., so I give you an idea what some of them look like. Commemoratives. There we go. U.S. silver commemoratives. Yep, there's the Olympics, 83 Olympics, and there's a, which one is that? I forget. That's the U.S. Capitol building. There's the 1987 Constitution coin, and there's another, there's a 97. But that's the stuff that I'm talking about, U.S. Modern, I'm going to put modern commemoratives just to see if I get a better picture for you, so I can give you a better idea what you should be looking for. Here you go. U.S. silver modern commemoratives. Any of these issues right here, except for the Buffalo, which is a big premium, and some of the other ones have premiums, but most of the stuff, We the People, 87 Constitutions, 1989s, 84 Olympics, you can buy these coins for melt plus $3. Represents a really good deal. Some of the other ones like the D-Day and may have a smaller premium, but again, really good deal out there in silver. All right, well, I think I got the premiums and stuff done. Let me kind of move over to an article I wanted to read. And we're going to go into a couple articles, not too much here to talk about on precious metals news, but I thought this was kind of cool. Economics and politics plays a big part in where precious metals are going to go, where we're going, where we've been, actually. And here, I'm going to get a sip of coffee real quick. Sorry to do that in your ear. Charles Hugh Smith, who's a guy that I have in my bookmark bar, I like to read his stuff. Very thought-provoking. He always writes thought-provoking articles here, and it's pretty short. Doing 90 miles per hour on a dead man's curve, a few thoughts on risk. When the wreck is recovered, witnesses will wonder why they took such heedless, foolish risk. I mean, that's, everyone's like that. You know, when you've been in a wreck, you kind of look and you say, why the hell did I do that? You can say that about a lot of things in life, I guess. You're in the back seat, wedged between tipsy revelers. The driver is drunk and headed into dead man's curve at 90 miles per hour. Nobody's worried because the driver has never crashed before. Before they slid into the euphoric incoherence, the other passengers answered your doubts with statistics and pretty charts showing that the driver had never had an accident. So there was nothing to worry about. Oh, the youth. That's the old days when you were young and you didn't have stuff to worry about. Well, they also said that the driver's Uncle Fed had rigged the vehicle with an you see where this is going, with an anti-accident device so a crash was impossible. One passenger blurted out that a fellow named Goldie Sachs said the driver could easily melt up and take dead man's curve at 120 miles per hour without any trouble. You see the problem here? The risk of crashing and expiring is soaring, but the giddy occupants are completely confident that there's no risk. And this confidence is the source of the danger. If you're sure Uncle Fed's device can protect the vehicle from any crash, then why not take dead man's curve at 90 miles per hour, right? And if Goldie Sachs says you could actually take it at 120 miles per hour, then taking it at 90 miles per hour is actually quite prudent and cautious. This confidence inspires tremendous risk-taking that eventually ends very badly for all revelers. Well, we know. The irony is rich. The greater the confidence, the greater the risk. The greater the risk, the greater the odds of the crash. The greater the risk being taken, the greater the odds the crash will be fatal to all occupants. The confidence in Uncle Fed's safety device is delusional because it's never been tested. The fact that the driver hasn't crashed doesn't mean the risk is low or Uncle Fed's device works perfectly. It simply means luck has been on the driver's side. It also doesn't mean that the driver can take dead man's curve at 90 miles per hour without any risk. It simply means the driver hasn't taken on more risk than he can handle until now. When the wreck is recovered, and again, this is what we're moving into, folks. He's kind of just doing an analogy here, and it's true. When the wreck is recovered, witnesses will wonder why they took such heedless, foolish risks. What they couldn't know is the occupants were all giddily confident that a crash was impossible, no matter how great the risk. So why not take more risk? Indeed, this makes perfect sense. If a crash is impossible, then by all means, take dead man's curve at 120 miles per hour. And more or less is what Charles is saying here is, man, we are in just uncharted territory, folks. And the weird thing is just like people follow the crowd. Is it fear of missing out? Why everyone pretty much acknowledges that we're at the top of the mountain here, man. We ain't going much higher than this. I mean, they can jawbone it even a little bit more, but at some point, this greatest bubble of all times, the G boat, has got to come tumbling down. Yet they encourage you to stay in with it. You know, I think I forget who it was, Guns, Goats, and Gold or something. I forget who the gentleman that writes that. Gosh, forgive me for that. But he wrote, and he's written many times, that the market, its entire goal is to inflict the most pain on the most amount of people at the same time. And boy, if that's true, man, again, with the greatest bubble of all time we're looking at right now, and they're just encouraging you to throw more money into it, who's going to get holding the bag here? Well, I tell you who's going to hold the bag. It's going to be the blue-collar worker. It's going to be the guy that was investing for his retirement. And speaking of retirement, let's move into this article on ZH. Not too much in precious metals articles again, but I thought this was interesting because it all plays in. Why are you accumulating gold and silver? What is the point of it? At the first point, the primary point, is not about getting rich quick. If you want to get rich quick or you lose everything real quick, get into the crypto markets or go to Las Vegas. That's my opinion. If you want to preserve your wealth with the possibility of making a good lick on top of it, precious metals, in my opinion, is a good place to be, gold and silver. Is $1 million enough for retirement in America? This is a great question to ask. Not many of us know this. I'm going to click this. It says ultimately it depends on where you live, okay? And I like this infographic. Let's take a look at it because it kind of shows retirement in America. If you had $1 million cash right now and you wanted to retire, where would it stretch out the longest? Where apparently it looks like the Midwest, 34.8 years you could survive on $1 million. Now, I'm not sure what parameters they're using, but maybe they're just thinking a comfortable life where you have enough food and you can do the things you're normally doing, I think. In the West, look at that, 17.5 years. In the Southwest, 31.2 years. In the Northeast, 22.9 years. In the Southeast, 29.2 years. So if you had $1 million, or if you have a limited amount of capital, the place that you're going to survive the most and the longest, and your money's going to go further than anywhere else, it appears to be the Midwest. Now take a look at this chart. This is pretty cool, and you can look at this free. It's on Zero Hedge. It's also I think Infographics does this. Let me go down. Yeah, Visual Capitalist. You can go to Visual Capitalist and also look at this chart as well. Let's go from the where you would survive the longest with your $1 million. And this kind of surprised me. It's because it is a beautiful town. I love Memphis. I've been there quite a few times. Used to be some good coin shows up there, currency shows, right on the river. What a beautiful place. It was. I don't know what it's like now. It's been many years since I've been there. But Memphis, Tennessee, you can move there and your money's going to last. It ranks #1. Take a look at that. 45.3 years. If you're retired, your money's going to outlive you more than likely. Let's go to the very bottom of the chart and take a look down here. If you wanted to go to a place where you're going to be homeless in the shortest amount of time on a fixed income, you go to San Francisco, San Jose, New York. Go figure, the blue states. Look, it's true. It is true. The places where your money lasts the least and where you're most likely to become homeless are mostly all blue states, okay? And I know some people are going to say, well, Miami, Florida. Well, Miami, Florida is a blue city and a blue county, so that explains that. Austin, Texas. And again, let's take a look at here. I'm not sure Memphis is a red state, but we know Texas, Kansas, Oklahoma, Indiana. We know these are mostly red states. And take a look at the difference between a red state and a blue state. I mean, it's pretty, again, if you're a billionaire and a millionaire, you can afford to live in a blue state, and that's mostly the clueless people that have no clue on how hard it is for a working class person. So people living comfortably in San Francisco don't know how hard it is for a working class person to live in San Francisco. However, in Memphis, you're going to do quite well with the amount of money you have. Good chart. Recommend you read this. Where's my area? Let me see if I'm even listed in here. I saw Miami down here. And Miami's expensive. Even my area here in Broward County, Fort Lauderdale, is just freaking ridiculous. And it's kind of a somewhat a blue area as well. So is Palm Beach County, very expensive to live. And but we don't have a state, we don't have income tax in Florida, which is a nice thing. So no state income tax, which saves us a lot of money. And let me go back here a page and go back to a zero hedge. Is $1 million enough for retirement? That's on ZH. You can read that for free. Interesting article. What else did I say? Hey, you can thank the blue people for this. This year's Thanksgiving. Well, no, that's not fair. You can. There are no fiscal conservatives in Washington D.C., red or blue. I think there's one. Rand Paul is the only fiscal conservative I'm aware of in Washington D.C. And then you got a blue dog Democrat Manchin. Let's see how he holds up, let's see if he can actually toe the line and not pass that ridiculous budget that they're trying to pass. So this year's Thanksgiving dinner will be the most expensive in history, thanks to Washington, D.C. and central bankers. The true feasibility of moving away from fossil fuels, and not too much again. Here, this is interesting. My state, in the state of Florida, Florida jobs grow at 3 times the U.S. rate, the report shows. And Florida jobs in Florida grow much faster than the national rate. And this is true. I don't know if I voted for DeSantis. I got to be honest with you. It's been a little while. And I'm a classical liberal, which for folks out there that don't know what that means, it has nothing to do with the people that call themselves liberals today. I am socially liberal, which means I don't care what you do with your life as long as you harm no other else, and you don't want me to pay for it. And I'm fiscally conservative, so libertarian kind of. Somewhat you would call it libertarian nowadays. But Florida job, I am impressed with DeSantis, what he's done. He looked at the hardcore numbers, and of course he's not a blue guy, so he wasn't going to play the blue games as did like Texas. The Texas governor's not a blue guy either, so he wasn't going to play the blue games. And they looked at the numbers, they looked at the data, and they weren't beholden to the blue party to keep everything closed and keep handing out more and more money. Texas and Florida did the right thing, man. They opened up early, and the fact is that the numbers in the pandemic aren't any worse down here than they were anywhere else. And every time the press came out and said something, they ended up having to backtrack because it was a lie. Our issues with the pandemic and were not as bad as everyone else's in the country. It's probably on par with other areas that had the population as us. Maybe ours was even less, and maybe it's had something to do with sunshine too, but telling people to go outdoors. And our business down here was opened up way early. We were open a year before most other places were. In fact, I completely ignored the mandates. I was open the whole time. I didn't close at all. And I don't know. I just wasn't going to put up with the bullshit. So I stayed open the whole time, and I don't think they didn't really enforce it too much here in Florida in most places as far as the cops. I think a lot of the cops realize what nonsense it is, especially now, given that they're being forced to do this. But let's move out of there. I don't want to go into that. I don't want my video stuffed down into the stuffed into hell. Good on Florida. I hope your state's doing good and you have a state governor that's a good guy like that didn't close down everything. And interesting. Let's move out of here before I start going into politics. Speaking of politics, kind of, but this is economics too. AIER, sorry about that. Great site. Get rid of the Wall Street Journal, get rid of Bloomberg, get rid of CNN, MSNBC, and all these corporate news stations. Put this up on your bookmarks bar and Zero Hedge. And I still look at the other ones just to know, because then once you start reading this kind of stuff, you'll realize the bullshit they're spending on you. What progressives miss in the Bitcoin energy debate, limited government and money, a review of money and the rule of law. You start reading this on a weekly basis, you'll be smarter than the average bear and definitely smarter than your neighbor. So let's move into gat.org. Again, not much to talk about here. But one of the websites that I highly recommend if you're new to my videos, that you must have this in your bookmark bars. These guys are the guys that tell you how the manipulation is done, who is it, and how they do it. Again, not too much to talk about here. Pam and Russ Martin's Biden nomination for the President Biden's nomination to head the Office of Comptroller of the Currency is basically she was raised in Moscow, and there's a lot of talk out there that she's very socialist. What she's trying to do is move all bank deposits to the Fed and let the New York Fed short stocks, which is super dangerous. It's going to collapse the system. Where do they get these people? That's what I want to know. Biden is, oh, never mind. I'm not going to say it. Wall Street silver. If you're new to my site and you're not on Wall Street Silver, it's kind of a really fun place to go. There's lots of cool stuff out here. One of the things, though, I was kind of curious and surprised about, pinned by moderators. Why would you pin this? Why would the moderators pin this? Manipulation is helping stackers, not hurting them. Manipulation is helping us, not hurting us stackers. Now, listen, I know there's a lot of new folks out here, and there's a lot of newbies out there, and some of them might actually believe this. It feels good to know with inflation here, your fiat can still buy dirt cheap silver when it's buying you less and less of just about everything else. Well, listen, it's nice that you can buy dirt cheap silver, but manipulation helps no one, period. And again, the guys posting this at the top and pinning it to the top, that clear statement of manipulation is helping stackers is complete bullshit. I'm sorry, but it's true. Manipulation helps no one, folks. No one. And as you've heard me say a couple times, I've been thinking that the moderators of Wall Street Silver, instead of posting stuff like this, which is not correct, and again, it's a great site. This is constructive criticism. My suggestion is they go out there and they use their numbers as a political force to start calling their congressmen, their senators, start calling the CFTC, and start. This is what you have. This is the greatest asset that Wall Street Silver has, is the ability to get these numbers of people to get politically active. If you really want to stop the manipulation, this is how you're going to do it, with the numbers that Wall Street Silver has. Otherwise, it's just going to, the manipulation is going to continue to happen. No one's going to say much about it. People are going to get extremely discouraged over time. And that's what happens too. People get really discouraged when they see manipulation, and a lot of people will just quit playing the game. Well, why do I want to play that game? It's manipulated. So there's nothing good about manipulation, and pinning a statement like that to the top of your page is not helping you at all. Again, what I would pin to the top of the page is a script that you have some professional write, and have people start calling their congressmen, senators, and start talking about this huge short positions that Ted Butler talks with the 4 to 8 banks out there, shorting, manipulating the price and hurting the small guys, hurting the small stackers. So this kind of disappointed me to see this. That's that pinned to the top of the page, and nothing about being politically active and making real changes. Well, let me move into yesterday's video here, which was silver and gold, New York implodes. Here's something interesting. I'm going to go back one page here. I want to show you a little experiment that I did. $3,000 gold in 3 months. The views were much higher than New York implodes, and I'm going to show you on Wall Street Silver too. Show you a good example of this. The content was very similar in both videos. However, I'm telling you, thumbnails, really, you got to word your thumbnails right. You can have the best content, the best video on YouTube, and if you don't have a good enough thumbnail for people to click on it, no one's ever going to watch it. Now, what I have noticed is that, for example, here, look at this, $3,000 gold in 3 months, or in months, all right? That generated a lot of activity, a lot of clicks, a lot of likes on Wall Street Silver, because it's a positive attitude. Now, here's a negative statement. Gold and silver implodes, and you can see it's got about 1/3 of the likes and click on it. And again, the content's very similar. I'm telling you, thumbnails make a big difference on views and everything like that. So forgive me if I use words like implodes or 3,000. This is actually quoting an article. And again, I also found that a lot of people will click likes or unlikes without even watching a video. So that's another thing you have to deal with when you create these videos. Yesterday's video, New York implodes, and of course, I explained exactly what the word implode. It's not clickbait, it's exactly true. At the AM prices, I show you the graph, it imploded. So let me kind of turn that off and see if I can answer a few questions here. Sort by newest. And where do we go from here? All right, I'm going to go down to the bottom of the page. Sorry, I don't mean to make you dizzy by spinning that fast. I'm not going to repeat it because I know I'll get stuffed down in the view category, but there you go, bud, for sure. The blue and red fish were tangs. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. I should know that. I own a fish tank, and I don't think I have any tangs, though. I am, for one, happy to give another opportunity to buy more metals off to my bullion dealer. Again, that is a positive side that the metals haven't taken off yet. There's a lot of people that can still jump on this boat and do well with it. But no less, manipulation is not good, period. Thomas Crumpton says, I've stopped even watching metal prices. Yeah, I'd like to be able to do that. I would too. If I just retired and had all the silver and gold I had right now and just kept it with me and was going to retire, I wouldn't look at prices every day. The only reason I look at prices every day is because I do this for a living and I have to. But yeah, most of you guys out there, well, who cares? The only time you're going to care is when you're buying or selling what the prices are. The fact is that no matter how you slice it and dice it, the prices are on a roller coaster to the moon. A lot of choppy action, a lot of downward action occasionally, and some scary moments on the downside. But overall, your end destination is to the moon. Let's see, Tom, what else? Morning, thoughts on IRS issues. Yeah, I have thoughts on IRS issues. Stay as far away from them fuckers as you can. That's my thoughts. Sorry about that. I had to throw out one F-bomb today. My thoughts on IRS issues, well, here, and this is the truth. We do everything by the book here in my store. I don't want to have any issues with these people. They can make your life miserable. And trust me, some of them are really. I had a sales tax audit, and I'm telling you, the lady that did the audit, I hope she's not listening, but the lady that did the audit was a moron. We had to do all the work for her. She basically told me, and I'm telling you, a Florida State sales tax audit, she said, I've got an operation to go to where I've got to get some surgery done next week. I can't figure out what you've got going on. And we handed her, everything she needed. She was inept. She says, if I can't figure it out by before my operation, she said this to us, I'm going to hit you with a $30,000 fine. You know what I ended up doing? I ended up going and doing all the work. I took my sister, who's a bookkeeper, had her take every single record, look for any possible mistake we could have ever made in the last 5 years. And what did we come up with? We came up with like $1,000 or $2,000, something minimal, not even, that we didn't pay sales tax. It came out to like $80 or $100. It was nothing. It was $300 or something like that over the years, where we forgot to add for a out-of-state sale or something weird like that. She was going to charge me $30,000. She had no idea what she was looking at. So can you imagine the people they hire in these government agencies? I'm sorry. But you don't want to do anything that they can't understand for sure. You want to do everything by the book, Jason. And again, just avoid those people like the plague. Casey says every time, thank you, Joey. Rain on Puget Sound, thank you, Joey. Appreciate you watching. Bill Blakely says, I'd like to know what the true price of gold and silver really is without the manipulation. If you go back to February of this year, the U.S. debt clock had silver at 5,000, gold at 36.5. Yeah, I don't really quite understand, Bill, the debt clock. I don't really look at that too much, especially if you can point it at digital air. Yeah, I agree with you 100% as far as digital currencies. Very risky. I'm not against it. I don't think it should be illegal, but I think people should know that when you're in cryptos, you're in Las Vegas, man. You're in a very manipulated, highly manipulated, even more than precious metals and other markets. You're in a highly manipulated market surrounded by whales with very little regulation. And again, what do you own? Nothing. It's kind of like well, at least in Las Vegas, when you hit the blackjack machine, it pays out real U.S. dollars. You know what I'm saying? Well, I guess Bitcoin pays out U.S. dollars too. Well, anyway, let's move along from here. Relax, it's not an implosion. Yes, it was. It was an implosion between 8:20 and 11 a.m., which has been happening for a little while. The implosion can be a matter of opinion too. It didn't implode to zero. We're never going to see that happen. So forgive my use of the word implosion. I just got to get people to click this site so I can educate people. Can't educate anyone. You can't get more views. You can't create more business for your business on YouTube unless you get people to click the damn link. I don't care how good the content is. Thanks for watching. Sergeant Major, thanks, Mike. Appreciate that. That was that little yellow and black fish. Madu San says Bitcoin's market cap is scraping up silver and gold's is only about 10 times. The Bitcoin's rocket's going to stop when it reaches its destination, to the surprise of many Bitcoins, but it could also crash without getting there. I'm betting that's more than likely the scenario. When the whole market crashes, I think that Bitcoin's gone, period. It's going to just fly out. It's going to hurt a lot of people too, I think. But then again, my opinion, I could be completely wrong. Dumb things you see. Hey, good. Looking forward to seeing you today. One of my local customer here. He also does videos, dumb things you see, which is pretty cool. But yeah, looking forward to it. I'll be here today most of the day. And Chisca Fuego says, I feel comfortable knowing central banks are loading up their gold and silver reserve all over the world. I sleep better at night knowing this, and one day I'm going to wake up and see 7 times on gold. Well, from your lips to the gold god's ears. Thank you very much for commenting. I appreciate that. Denny Hare says, if you watch closely, the banksters have their hands in the cookie jars. When the market tanks, 10-year treasuries climb, they release gold and silver platinum, divert their attention to keeping markets up. If that means buying the market, propping up crude oil, the fake prices are getting very old. I have been holding PMs since 1990s. Well, I appreciate you commenting there, Denny. I have to agree with you for the most part, and not the most part, I have to agree with you pretty much on all of that. Markets are highly manipulated. I mean, gold and silver markets are manipulated. So is every market, Wall Street, you name it. You know, in fact, from the day you're born, you're manipulated. You just have to get over it and figure out how it's done, who's doing it, and how to work around it and make the best for yourself. Thanks for watching, Denny. I appreciate it. Celeste, Tesla's not a car company, it's a tech company. Yes, it's true. I would say it's evolved into a tech company for sure. From the cars. And I got a lot of respect for, even though I don't think I'm going to buy a Tesla, I have a lot of respect for Elon Musk. You know, I think he's the P.T. Barnum of billionaires. Chris says, thanks for watching, Celeste. Chris says, I too couldn't figure out how to get Bitcoin and such. Yeah, that's true. That's a true story, man. I was going to buy like $100 worth or $200 worth of crypto or Bitcoin at $5 each. I just couldn't figure out how to do it. It was too complicated for me. No regrets. I'm glad, you know, big deal. Guyfoot says, I don't have the smarts to get into the altcoins either. I really wish I did because I believe it'll take us to a Fed coin. I did because I believe it'll take us to a Fed coin as well. I'm not looking forward to a Fed coin. I don't like the idea of Fed coin. I don't like altcoins. I don't like any of these things. I think it's just leading us to a cashless society, which is what governments and central bankers and regulators have always wanted, politicians especially. They want to know every cent you own, where it goes, what you do with it, and most of all, they want to make sure they get their piece of it. Carl Walker says you should have at least 50K subs. Yeah, I think the reason I don't have 50,000 subscribers is because I do talk politics occasionally, and I do kind of get into that subject. I truly believe that YouTube and the other companies, well, again, I was kicked off Facebook permanently. When they told me to appeal, they sent me back a message that says, don't even bother trying, you mother. They told me to fuck off. They did, they really did. They cut my 12-year account, but I'm not going to go into that. It still pisses me off. They said I promoted hatred and violence. I'm talking about the same stuff I talk about on these videos. Facebook accused me of hatred and violence. You believe that shit? Well, anyways, I don't think it's beyond this particular format here to do the same to me, so I do have to be a little careful, and maybe that's why I'm not at 50K. It's a shame. But anyways, thanks for watching, appreciate it. And let me move along here. Matthew, thanks for watching as well. Doesn't matter if I can buy a hamburger with Bitcoin. JM Bullion takes Bitcoin. This is another exception I need to attempt. An epic leap from one rocket to another. Well, good luck with that, sir. If you know how the game is played and you know how to, whether it's casinos, Bitcoin, or gold, if you know how the game is played and how it's rigged, then you're more likely to be a winner. Thanks for watching, Matt. John says, Monkey Hammer, I thought Basel III stopped all this. No, we had discussions on my videos. When everyone's thinking that Basel III was going to stop this, there was a lot of discussion on my videos, and we talked that it wasn't going to stop this. It only did it in a certain segment, I think, where was it, in England or something, or Europe? But anyways, no, you're still going to see it. Why would they stop it? Silver and gold rig price suppression will never end no matter what. Inflation, demand, all count for nothing, and a fake rig price mechanism backed by governments, banks, laws. This is stuff we talk about all the time, and as I was just saying, John, I just was saying to Carl Warpy down here, or not Carl Warpy, who was I saying that to? Anyways, the game's rigged, man. The game is rigged from the day you're born. John, the day you woke up, the game was rigged against you. You just have to grow, learn, and figure out how it is. And it's not just gold and silver markets, it's stock markets, it's bond markets, it's treasury markets, it's currency markets, it's crypto markets, it's elections, it's everything, it's all of it. So, you know, again, you just have to have the clarity, wake up and see how it's rigged. And once you do that, you can work your way around it and make it work for you. And that's where we're at right here, and that's the purpose of my shows, is to teach you this stuff so you can work around this. Oh boy, so a couple more comments there. Man, lots of comments. I'm going to have to cut down on the comments here, so folks. So Keep It Real says the civilization of El Salvador has figured out. I don't know about civilization. Have you been to El Salvador? So I've been surfing down in Costa Rica, and I met a lot of El Salvadorans. It just amazed me that they did this. Has figured out Bitcoin, and they haven't figured out anything, sir. If you're following it, they still don't know. There's a lot of kickback on that, and adopted it as their currency, but it's too difficult for us. They're having the same issue. El Salvador has not figured out how to use Bitcoin. I don't think, I'm not even sure their stores are using it. And if you think about it, you know, what poor person is going to want to own a Bitcoin that's goes up and down in value and has such volatility? I'm sorry, Bitcoin is not money. It's not money. It will never be money. It's a very volatile digital asset. That's the best I can say for it. And I don't think they've come a long ways. And the quality of our public education system, or are we exposing the quality? No. So I disagree with you on that, sir. Respectfully disagree. How many times have you contacted your representative called the FTC regarding commodity prices? Quite a few myself. I'm just really surprised that very few other people have. And how many times have you called Keep It Real? And I should also ask, should anyone listen to Bill Murphy at Gotta Bill Holter? Sure, I think you should listen to all different people, even people you disagree with. There's a saying by, I forget who said it, but I think it was Robert Heinlein, you know, a guy I like a lot. He says, I never learned anything from a man I agreed with. And this is true. You know, if you only listen to people you agree with, you're at a big disadvantage here. Keep it real. Really appreciate the comment. Much respect to you, even though we disagree on this. And I hope you're having a great day. Thanks for watching. Joe Rock says, keep buying gold and silver, crypto, and other commodities. These real assets will save you when the shit hits the fan. Couldn't disagree with that at all, Joe, although, again, not a big fan of cryptos myself. Silver Love and Lou says, thanks. Thank you, sir. And Michael, good to see you. Todd Barker and Tree Climber. First Majestic Mines are hodling back 1.2 million ounces of silver. This is good. I think for years and years, I forget who said it, but a couple writers out there were saying for years that the mines can really put a hurting on these fraudulent trades at COMEX by holding back silver, you know, and that's kind of like a squeeze, actually. Thanks for mentioning that, Tree Climber. I appreciate it. And someday we'll find our lost passwords and our lost socks. Yes, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies for the most part. In fact, digital fiat, I completely agree. Unfortunately, hype can go a long way, and as long as there's another person to buy whatever, that is their business. I agree with you 100%. I'm a capitalist. I'm a free market capitalist. Bitcoin is fine to me. I don't like it just because I think it's a casino. I don't think there's anything tangible there. But does that mean that, in my opinion, I don't think anyone else should own it or trade in it? Absolutely not. I'm a free market person, free market capitalist, and I think that if you're a big boy or a big girl or a big whatever, you should be able to do whatever you want. However, I think a lot of people blindly run into things without really knowing what they're doing, and it's pretty clear to me what Bitcoin is. It's not money. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it. P.S. says, how do you stash your gold? If you're afraid you will forget where you put your Bitcoin private key, no comparison there, none at all. Sorry, good try, P.S., but there really isn't no comparison about Bitcoin private key versus where you stash your gold. I think your passwords, how many times do people forget passwords? They forget their passwords every day. I know people that can't remember a 4-letter password, so me. No, I'm just kidding. So no, apples and oranges there, not even close. But thanks for watching, P.S., and thanks for the comment. Doug Bay says, for your information, 1 billion seconds, 31 years, 1 trillion seconds, 31,000 years. Gosh, Doug, I must have said something that was incorrect, but 1 billion seconds, 31 years. But interesting, I'm not quite sure what that comment refers to, but I didn't know that. Thanks for watching. Hey, I guess that's it. I can move out of here into who I am. I'm Brian Kuzma, a second-generation dealer. I've been in this location since 1995. I've been doing this since 1977. I advertise to beat APMEX, JM, SD, Bullion. I'll beat the big online guys in prices and service, only because I can, and a lot of small businesses can. That's why I highly recommend that you find a local coin store if you don't live in my area in South Florida, because I don't do any shipping or mailing, unfortunately. So if you don't live in my area and you like what I do, find a local guy. He may not be as handsome as me and smart as me. I'm pushing the envelope here. But there's people out there that can sell you better deals than what you can buy online. And it's not just bullion, it's cars, it's tires, you name it, jewelry. Try to keep that money local if you can. Hey, thanks for watching. Have yourself a great day, and I will talk to you soon. Bye now.